But we start here. NFL last night, the last game, Kerry, and I got to say that.
Uh-oh.
I watched the game, and it was supposed to be a coronation for Brock Purdy. I heard Joe Buck. I heard Troy Aikman. They were all set, ready to go. Here's this guy who was Mr. Irrelevant, and he's in the lead for the MVP, and now he's going to do his thing against the Baltimore Ravens, and we're going to coronate this guy. He's the MVP. He's the guy. He's beaten all the odds, and now here he is, America. You can't turn your back on him. You can't shake your head at him anymore. You can't poo-poo Brock Purdy anymore. And guess what? Brock Purdy turned in the biggest flop in the history of sports when it was his turn to change the narrative on him.
Okay.
It would have changed the narrative, Kerry, had he come out and played well and beaten the Baltimore Ravens, whose defense has been incredible.
Yes.
Allowing like 15 points a game. And that would have been something to carve them up, beat them, and let everybody know I'm real, I'm here. Stop with all the nonsense. Stop with the talk. I'm the MVP of the league. And guess what? He went to bed. 4 interceptions.
Yep.
And stop with the, they were tipped. Do we go back and count everybody else's whose interceptions were tipped?
Absolutely
Stop
not.
it. That's a part of football.
Part of the game.
Okay? Guys put their hands up in the hopes of tipping the ball.
Exactly.
That's your job to avoid somebody tipping your pass. Come on, man. Stop with the excuses. And this does not mean that Brock Purdy is garbage and he can't play.
Right.
Okay? The MVP was quarterback on the other team.
Absolutely.
And if you don't see that, and I don't care what his numbers are, he's the most valuable player on the best team in the league.
Yes, that part. When you add that part to it, that is the cherry on top. But as far as Brock Purdy goes, still a good player. He's had moments this year. He's had moments where he's looked bad. And for him to look bad on that stage in that game, when all the talk was they were the far superior team coming to this game, it was nobody really giving Baltimore a real shot.
They were 6.5 point underdogs, Kerry. That you think Vegas gave that just? Oh, let's give Baltimore 6.5 points.
Exactly. No, I mean they were supposed to get ran out of there going to Santa Clara on the road,
flying on Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever to get there, and
all the things. And for Baltimore to come out and play the way they did and make Brock Purdy look the way that he looked, they deserve all the credit. And I know that we want to, we're in the industry of, hot takes and being firm with your decisions and your choices. That's what we do. But and I think you should stick to that. But I know a lot of people are today on this Tuesday trying to backpedal a little bit and say it's more about Baltimore's defense and all the things they do outside of that guy.
Right. You need to stop that. And there are a lot of guys, and Kerry, I get it. You're a former player. You have a soft spot for certain teams
Absolutely.
you played.
Yeah.
Like people can try to act like they don't. I get it.
Yeah.
You wore a uniform. They drafted you. They changed your life.
Yeah.
You feel like you owe people something.
Sure.
It's just natural.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But for some of these former 49er players who refuse to admit that they were wrong in this situation, and I'm not saying, again, that Brock Purdy can't play or he doesn't deserve a spot in the NFL. That's not what this is.
Yeah.
But when you start mentioning him with Joe Montana.
Stop.
Yes, please.
Just stop.
Can you stop? Like, what are we talking about? I'm stunned when I hear former players who know how hard it is to play, who know what Joe Montana's done, to just be flip and throw somebody's name. We're so quick in this day and age to crown people before they've even won anything.
And that's the part about sports in general, right? In these times now, we have to anoint people so quickly because we live in that age, right? What have you done for me lately? And when we say lately, that means in the last 10 seconds.
Right.
Like whatever the thing is, it's the thing. Where you had to, back in the day, you had to actually earn your stripes. You get a point. I mean, just take it to myself. I mean, I made the all-rookie team. I came back the next year and proved it again. I was all-pro in the second year. But you don't get paid off that. You get paid off what you keep doing and continue to build off of. And so it took me years to get to the point where people would put me in the same breath as, the top guys at that time.
Right.
It takes time. And Brock Purdy hasn't done enough of that yet. So that was my only beef with the situation. You don't ever put him in the same sentence as Joe Montana.
It just doesn't even make any sense.
No.
And I just, when I start to hear people, and I can't, we had a former 49ers on. He does the stuff up in the Bay Area. And me and him went at it. He told me, Brock Purdy's the MVP. You're crazy. And I said, you come back on the show after he throws 3 interceptions. I swear I said that. I said 3. I was wrong. I'll admit I was wrong because he had 4. He had a 4-piece. 2 pieces of extra white meat. I mean, seriously. And if you watch this, I'm going to say this. If you're your worst nightmare last night.
Yeah.
That was your worst nightmare because you didn't want to believe it like they're hanging on it that he has to deliver and get them to win a Super Bowl. They've already been to the Super Bowl, that team, without Brock Purdy.
Yes.
So the only thing he has to do is deliver, and now there's doubt. He finally played a great defense and looked like tuna fish. Like that's what he looked like. And that's the scary part is now there's doubt.
Yeah.
Right? Like before. When they had the 3-game losing streak, they tried to paint, everybody, these guys were out. These guys were out. You had your team.
Yeah.
You had your guys.
Oh, there were no excuses last night.
That was supposed to be, and I'm telling you, his whole career could have changed on last night. And I'm not trying to overstate it.
You're right. You're right.
Because had he won that, and then they go on, right? If they beat the Ravens, whatever, and he wins the MVP, Mr. Irrelevant, and it's not like it's never happened.
Right.
Kurt Warner wasn't even drafted, and he won MVP.
Yeah, Tom Brady's 7th round.
Okay,
guy,
so let's not act
right.
Let's not act like somebody who wasn't the top pick never won the MVP.
Yeah.
But for him, had he shined, national television, everybody watching on Christmas night. Ain't nobody going anywhere. Everybody, right?
Everybody watched.
Everybody watched last night. Probably the first time a lot of people got to see Brock Purdy play live.
Yes, and he wet the bed.
He wet the bed. There's no other way you can say it, Kerry.
You know what's crazy, Rob? You know what's crazy about it is the first couple of possessions, it looked like it was going to be a San Francisco victory, too.
He moved the ball down with ease. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I went with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
They were ready to, they were going to lay it on thick.
Yeah, and then he threw the interception, and that literally changed the game.
Changed everything.
It was literally on his shoulders. He throws a touchdown there, and they go up and just keep moving the ball up and down the field. It's a different game. He throws the interception. He gives them the turnover that gets Baltimore back in the game, and that changed the whole game.
100%. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. We definitely want to hear from you on the Brock Purdy. This was a coronation set up for him, and he flopped. And if you don't agree, if you agree, you could call in. If you don't agree, you could call in. If you want to say it was a bad day at the office, you have no idea the importance of that game.
Yeah.
That was not a bad day at the office. Okay? That was an earthquake, and the building that you were supposed to go to work collapsed.
It wasn't there.
No, it collapsed. That's what that was. I'm dead serious. If you think that was a bump in the road, that was not a bump in the road. He may never win another MVP. That's how may never ever.
Oh, so you're saying he was driving over the street and it was just a sinkhole appeared?
And it was just out of nowhere. And we're talking about Brock Purdy, who I think blew like one of the biggest opportunities for all of America, NFL America, to see what he was all about and shine in this moment at a 4-interception game. And who knows if he'll ever recover from this. And I'm talking about winning another MVP or being at that level where he was.
Yeah.
So we want to hear from you on, was that a bump in the road? Was that a big moment for him? Was it just a bad day at the office? 877-99 on Fox.
Yeah, so we got Nick from New York. What are you doing, man? What do you think? You think it was a bump in the road, or you think that's just an anomaly?
Rob, you know my favorite show. It's our show, my favorite show.
My
Merry
man.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We appreciate you, Nick, from New York.
Yeah,
you know
definitely. Honestly, I got two things, and I'll make it quick. I'm not shocked that Chris took the day after Christmas off. He probably did that 2 years ago, so we'll leave it at that. And, Rob, I was waiting for you to say the tape is out on Brock Purdy.
Right.
If they're lining it up, they know what to do now. You're playing harder teams now, harder defenses. Everyone's playing harder, more meaningful games. I honestly think they're one and done, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. But Merry Christmas, Kerry. Happy for you. Continue, and success is in your future.
My man.
I appreciate that, Nick. Thank you, man.
877-99 on Fox.
Our next caller, we got Jerome from Charleston. How you doing, man? You're on with the Odd Couple.
What's up, Jerome?
What's up, Kerry and Rob? Kerry Rhodes, I remember you. I remember you.
I hope so. He didn't play 80 years ago.
You played safety in the NFL. I remember you.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah.
Yes.
But just let me say this. Last night was a revelation to someone standing up to the bully. Okay? I've been listening to this bully, this San Francisco talk for the last couple of months. That's when you speak truth to power. When you stand up to the powerful, nobody can beat the 49ers.
That's right.
Nobody. Well, you know what? Someone beat them. And you know what else? Hey, there's going to be more shocks. That just threw down the gauntlet in the NFC. Now, no one has to be scared of the 49ers anymore. They're beatable. Okay, Dallas? Okay, Philadelphia? Okay, Detroit? They're beatable. So who's going to shock the world next? Hey, this ain't over. Congratulations. No. Mike Florio, what are you going to say now?
I know. Well, he used to put his foot in his mouth talking about they're going to get the ass kicked out of them.
He was very adamant.
Wow.
Very adamant about
that.
it.
That was a prediction.
Yeah.
877-99 on Fox. We want you to jump in.
Yeah. We got our next caller. We got Tobin from Reno. You're on with the Odd Couple. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Man, great.
All right. First of all, if you took the time to watch the game against Cleveland, Stefanski's, I think, 9-2 or something like that against Kyle Shanahan. If you watch the game, Kittle, Ayuk, both dropped footballs.
Stop with the drops. Everybody, just stop. They're drop footballs all the time. Nobody, no. Hold on. I'll let you talk. But I don't want to hear that. You know what? They trash. No, hold on. They trash Aaron Rodgers' career in Green Bay. They got 4 games where they gave up over 40 points his defense when he played quarterback in big playoff games.
Yeah.
And nobody says, oh, my God, poor Aaron Rodgers. They say he can't win in the NFC Championship game. And you can't have it both ways.
There you go.
I'm not saying it's both ways. What you're saying is it's either MVP or bust. And this is
was that a chance for him to win the MVP last night? Yes or no? Was that a chance?
Hey, sure, and he blew it. But
okay, that's what I said.
Let me finish. Neither of those two guys are MVP players. I think McCaffrey's the MVP on his team.
Stop.
And I actually think Tyreek Hill is the most valuable player.
Did you watch? You said you watched the game. Did you see Lamar and the plays he made? Are you kidding? He's the best player on the best team. Yeah. And let me tell you this, and thanks for the call. I respect your call. Thank you for the call. I do. And Kerry talked about, we had our pre-show meeting, we're talking. Kerry watches football. He played at this level.
Yeah.
Okay? This is where I respect guys like Kerry. Seriously. You want to talk about phony stats and pump. You don't think, and Kerry brought it up, all those touchdowns they scored in the red zone, whatever, where they running backs are running in, right?
Yeah.
Lamar could easily have all of those 12 or 15 touchdowns if they really wanted him to have it. Okay?
And they did that in his MVP year.
Yes, they did. But now he doesn't have to do that. Yeah. Stop kidding yourself if you think he can't score from there. Did you see the runs yesterday? The guy, he broke ankles yesterday.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're really watching the game, you understand a lot of those teams. You'll see, like in those quarterback years where the MVP, they throw 40 touchdowns, 50 touchdowns, crazy numbers. they're running play action on the 1 yard line where they could just run the ball
Right,
in and they get
easily.
easy, cheap touchdown passes to stat pad. And that's just kind of how it happens. And so Baltimore's not trying to do that. They're trying to protect Lamar Jackson.
Why give him extra bumps and hits and we don't have to?
Exactly.
877-99 on Fox.
We got Peyton from Seattle calling in. You're on with the Odd Couple. How you doing?
Good. How about you guys?
We're
doing
well.
great.
I got two things to say. Number one, all my friends were saying how the San Francisco 49ers are going to crush the Ravens and how Brock Purdy is better than Tom Brady and all that. And I was like, just you wait and see, because I don't think he's that good. And then he goes and throws 4 interceptions, and now they don't want to talk to me about it.
I know they don't. They're probably hiding today. I mean,
Exactly, yeah. And then the second thing, I've been rooting for Monty's Clippers and Dodgers, and they're doing pretty good. So
What? You've been
Monty.
rooting for Monty's Clippers.
wow. All
Yeah,
right.
he has been.
Well,
Hi,
you know what?
thank you.
You know what you need to do is call Monty's show on Saturday. How's that?
We don't take callers. He can't. We don't take callers.
Oh, wow. So you're going to call on the Odd Couple?
That's right.
He tried to get Monty in. There you go.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Thanks. Let's squeeze one more in if we
Let's
can.
get one more in. We got Drew from New Jersey calling in. You're calling into the Odd Couple. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Drew?
Good. How you guys doing?
Man,
Doing
good.
man.
Good. All right. I'm gonna get straight to it. I think he obviously squandered an MVP chance. His chances down the water. But I think if you, as you guys said, if you watch the game, I think that defense is the best I've seen since Legion of Boom.
No, their defense is
You
tremendous.
think they're the best since Legion of Boom?
Their defense is
I think so. Did you see how much turnovers they got?
Yeah,
they took
absolutely.
over like 4 or 5 times.
For sure.
I think they.
You know what?
Guy,
They
what's his name?
probably could have had 6 interceptions. There were 2 drops
Yeah.
where they could have, but again,
Yeah.
that's a part of the
Could
game.
have, yeah.
But Drew, I've never seen anybody on a stage with a chance to really change the narrative about them, their position in the NFL. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, that's how big that was. I
Yeah.
don't know if people really understand Christmas night in a big game against the Ravens. Like if he had, and you saw earlier on moving the ball with
Yes.
ease,
It looked
had
good,
he destroyed that defense, there would have been no stopping the Brock Purdy.
Yeah, the conversation around.
Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, Drew. Thank you, Drew. I mean, the conversation around the defense, like, that's no secret. We already knew Baltimore had a
Right.
good defense. So people trying to act like
Oh,
it's because of
they
that.
came into the game.
It is. It's part of it.
They came into the game giving up 15 points a game.
And
What
we
are you
knew
talking
that.
about? We knew that
But
already.
even with people knowing that, they still said San Francisco was going to dominate them.
Right.
So, yes, they came in and played A-plus defense.
And
I'm
the
a defensive guy.
And,
yes.
and the reason they thought, because they thought Brock Purdy was going to
That's
put
the
on a
point.
show.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so now
what
the
they thought.
caveat is, the defense outplayed them,
Right.
where that's a combination of both. The defense outplayed them, but he made some mistakes too, and so that's the part of it I want people to understand.
No doubt.
Yeah.
His name is Ephraim Salam, and welcome to the show. Ephraim, say hello to Kerry Rhodes.
What's up, Kerry?
Ephraim, what's
Rob?
up, brother?
How was your
y'all doing?
holiday, buddy?
It was good, man. It was excellent.
All right.
What about you guys?
Man, I worked yesterday, but I enjoyed the little part I had before that.
Yeah, mine was chill.
Well, that's why you always stacking that money, man. You working on holidays and all that.
Yeah,
man.
whatever.
We
You
what's
know
going on.
me. I'm trying to make it happen. I ain't got no former NFL money.
Somebody got to do it, though.
Exactly.
Somebody
Well, we
got
all
to do
had
it.
choices. We all had choices.
Yes. All right, help me out here. I think Brock Purdy, Ephraim blew like the golden opportunity. He was going to be coronated last night. Here he is. If he beats the Ravens and Lamar, national television, Christmas night, people got to stop with the he ain't that good. He's this. He's a system quarterback. Like, it was there for the taking, and he went to bed. 4 interceptions. He was a part of the reason why they lost. You can't just say it was a bad day at the office. Where are you on what happened last night? How surprised at how badly he looked?
Well, I was surprised that he looked bad, but one game doesn't make a career either way, bad or good. And so when you say, as a player, when you go out and you have a terrible game, and anybody who's played sports at a high level, professional sports, has had an awful game. I'm talking about a game you don't ever want to talk about. That doesn't make your career, right? Did he wet the bed on Christmas Day at a perfect opportunity, going against the best team in the AFC, probably the odds-on favorite to represent them in the Super Bowl? Yeah, he did.
But I guess, Ephraim, I'm asking you this. he had a chance to change the narrative about him. And now I'm talking about that's the lost opportunity. I don't know if he'll ever be in the conversation for MVP of the NFL. Is Patrick Mahomes going to play like this the rest of his career? Is Josh Allen? There's so many. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow's hurt. Like, there's a lot of great quarterbacks who are going to be in that conversation. To me, this was like the injury.
This was it.
You know what I mean? Like, this was the moment.
Yeah, this was, and to that point, it was the moment, and he'll never be able to get this back. Will he fall out of the conversation for MVP? Most likely. How does he finish up the next two games? Does he rebound and gain footing in that area? I don't know. But look, I still am a Brock Purdy fan. The things that he's been able to do this year, last year, he obviously can play.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't even be a question.
That's not
anymore.
the issue, right?
That's not the issue at all.
That's not a question. But sometimes games get too big for players. It happens.
Right.
It really does.
It does, and I think that's the thing I kind of want to address as well. I mean, obviously, it was a bad game for Purdy, right? I mean, I think we can all say that, but we have a lot of people now trying to shift the conversation of it being a bad game of Purdy to Baltimore's defense being dominant, right? And so I think going into that game, we already knew that Baltimore's defense was good. We knew that, but people still were saying that, oh, they weren't going to be able to stop Purdy. The offense is going to go up and down the field. Where do you stand on that? It being more Baltimore's defense or being more of a product of Purdy playing a terrible game yesterday?
It's the defense. I mean, their body of work this year for the last couple years has been tremendous. You got to remember when Lamar Jackson was hurt, this team still made the playoffs. Because of that defense. They ran through a cycle of quarterbacks, but they were still in contention because of the defense. There's one thing we know Baltimore is going to come to the park with, and that's a defense. So, yeah, it is a product of their defense and what they're able to do in terms of getting pressure on the passer, in terms of shutting down the run. Them with Lamar Jackson healthy, playing the way he played, let's not overshadow how well Lamar Jackson played against another top-tier defense.
Man, he was tremendous last night.
It was
anybody who didn't watch that game and say he's the best player out there.
Yeah.
That, to me, was the biggest thing, taking it, not to cast a shadow or not see how important those 4 interceptions were with Brock Purdy. But on the flip side, on the other side of the field on offense, Lamar Jackson is special, brother. There is not another player on the planet Earth like Lamar Jackson. And that is a fact. You can't name me another guy who could go out and do some of the things that Lamar Jackson does. Some of those things, I was like, I don't even know how you guard that, man. I don't even know how you stop that. What do you do?
Ephraim, with that being said, does that catapult him in your eyes as the MVP favorite right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because now you have a special individual who's stepping up. Look at his last 2 weeks, the teams he's played against and the way he's played the last 2 weeks. I mean, you want to talk about driving defenses crazy. There's nothing you can do to game plan to stop Lamar Jackson. They really went out and got weapons. They got Zay Flowers, OBJ. They have weapons. Bateman on the outside, the running game. And guess what? They don't even have their best player outside of Lamar Jackson on offense.
Crazy. All right, let me go here. The Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, horrific loss. Can you imagine a quarterback? What's his name? O'Connell has no completions. All right,
we don't know who that is.
It wasn't Aiden O'Connell. No completions the last 3 quarters of the game. Did you know that? No completion.
Wow. No. 3. I thought it was
3
after halftime.
quarters.
Oh, wow.
3 quarters.
Okay.
And he has 62 passing yards and no completions the last 3 quarters. And look, I know the receivers are bad. People want to talk about the drops and people want to talk about the offensive line. I get, but Patrick Mahomes got to get some blame. He had a fumble 6 and a pick 6 back-to-back yesterday. Can we at least acknowledge he's not playing well?
He's not playing well at all. And, the defense was keeping them in games this season.
Yep.
Yeah. But we've been seeing this come over the horizon the last month or so. last quarter of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I just kept making excuses for them like a lot of other people. Well, as long as their defense is doing it, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be okay. They are not going to be okay. This is a situation where, shout out to the Raiders, Antonio Pierce. This is the first time, I said it yesterday. I said, this is the first time in my life I've ever cheered for the Raiders. And it's because Antonio Pierce. Like, as a former Bronco, we don't even say Raiders.
Exactly. I hear you. Right.
Right? But Antonio Pierce, what he's been able to do to that team and for that franchise is unbelievable. I am pulling for him. I want him. I mean, if they went out and Kansas City lose out, they win the division.
Yes.
I want them to go to the playoffs because I want them to get that job because the Raiders need him as the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, Ephraim, AP.
Last thing, we got 1 minute.
You got 1 minute?
No, go ahead. You got
Go ahead, Rob. You got it.
No.
Oh, no, I was saying about AP, just to kind of piggyback on that. Such a good dude. I know him from my New York days, and I'm rooting for him too. But you know what, Ephraim, as a player, and you know this, once you start complaining about things and getting yourself out of character with the way you handle your business, things start to not go so well for you. And I think that's kind of what's happening to Patrick Mahomes right now. What do you think about that?
It's a slippery slope.
It is, right?
Once you start not, being true to who you are,
yes.
And obviously, first of all, you got to be honest. If things are bothering you, you got to speak up. All right, you can't keep sugarcoating. Maybe I got to throw a better pass. Maybe no. You got to let it out, but you got to do it in a way that resonates with who you are as a person. We've seen him get out of character, and that it's a ripple effect in that locker room.
Yep.
And that's what we're seeing with the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
No doubt. His name is Ephraim Salam. Thank you so much for the knowledge, my man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, brothers. You guys are happy holidays, and y'all stay safe out there.
You too.
Same to you, E.
All right, appreciate it.